Good morning, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here. I hope that you are up and getting off to a great start. It's 6:25 where I'm at. I've been up for a couple hours, went through my priming stage, which is the first thing I do, sort of look through my day to see how close my planning was to being ideal for this particular day, and made a couple of changes. Then I decided to stop in and holler at you guys. My goal is to get back to you at least a couple of times on issues of personal performance before the day is out. I'm going to definitely be posting a lot of written and system content along the day, but I also want to get back with a couple of videos. They may or may not be live. It all depends on how things go. Sometimes I have to record, but I like getting with you guys live whenever possible. I know early in the morning it probably won't be a lot of people checking in, but this is where we are today. Before I get started, this is going to be a pretty brief session too. At least that's my intent. But before I get started, I want to remind you, if you haven't gotten book number 20, Critical Mass, the Phenomenon of Next Level Living, go ahead and order that. Also pre-order I Am, which is the second book. Critical Mass is the first book in a 6-book series. It's my 20th book, but it's the first book in a 6-book series that deals completely and solely with personal performance, personal development in almost every area you can possibly imagine. I Am is the second book. I Am focuses specifically on your self-talk, the declarations that you are making about your life, about your relationships, about your finances, about your purpose and everything else, and the power of I Am because of what it does in the sense of being the precursor or the prelude to your declaration. And so order it now. You're going to get it at a promotional price through until the book is actually released. And you also get a free 30-minute breakthrough session with yours truly. That is a $350 value for free. My individual sessions start at $350. But I promise you, you're not going to get a cut rate engagement. People who work with me that drop in on this will share with you, I'm intense. I'm going for it. We're there to win. This isn't, I'm just going to take you in and run you through something and get you out. Very rarely do these 30-minute sessions stop at 30 minutes. And that's all me. It's like, I want to get you to a certain point, and I start to get an idea of what that point is as we engage, and I do everything I can to get you there. So order I Am, pre-order it, get it at a promotional price, because the actual retail price is going to be higher than what it's being sold for in the pre-order, and get your free 30-minute breakthrough session with yours truly, which is a $350 value. Okay, let's go ahead and talk. One of the things is a lot of people have, one of the problems is now is that people are trying to be more positive in their thinking, trying to be more positive in their speech, and they're frustrated because they aren't getting the results that they desire. And they're frustrated. And, I tell people all the time when they come to me, look, I'm doing my affirmations. I'm speaking positive. I'm thinking positive. And here's the problem. If you're thinking positive, you're speaking positive, if you're making positive declarations and speaking positive affirmations, and you're not seeing the benefit of it in your life, if you're not getting the things that you declare you want, if you're not achieving the goals that you declare you desire, what you have to stop and step back and do is examine your subconscious programming. See, what most people don't realize is your conscious mind is your place of creativity. It's your place of executive function. It's your place where you make ideas and declarations and make decisions, and you create or come up with ideas. However, it only controls about 4% of your day, max. Maybe 5%, but it can be as little as 1%, depending. What controls your day is your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is what takes up 96 to 98% of your day and controlling your day, how you move. Most stuff is done on autopilot. Your behavior is autopilot. Even the way you think, in fluidity is habitual. It's programmed. If you're a negative thinker, you're going to be programmed to think negative. So anytime you're not functioning and using the wheel of your conscious mind, you are going to be probably more in a negative mode. And the programming of the subconscious is immensely more powerful than the functionality of the conscious mind. The conscious mind can set the standard, but it is the subconscious mind that has to be programmed to reach it. And the problem is, most people don't know how to program the subconscious mind. I get into that in my courses. I get into that in my books. I talk about the ability to really change programs. Now, most people are programmed in how they're going to view the world, their paradigms, the lens through which they see life, their belief systems, and so much more by the age 7. And the reason that is that from birth to the age 7, kids are in a state that we call theta. Theta is a state that serves as a duality. It is where kids get to experience life through their imagination at an unbelievable level. They can imagine anything. You see your kids and they've turned brooms into horses. They got mud that's cake, and they're having tea in empty cups and all of this stuff. And we look at it now and we see it as playful banter, but it's really reality for them at that time. They're able to use their imaginations, and it's wonderful because it expands their expectations in life. And also the other side of from the imagination is the absorption of all of the data and information and experiences that are going on around them that are setting and hardwiring how they view life, whether they see themselves in a positive light, whether they develop self-confidence, high self-esteem, high expectations, a belief in themselves, or if they see themselves as lowly, if they see themselves as victims, if they see themselves in a world where they have no input, is going to be based on what they experienced from birth to age 7. And this is so emphatic that it once was believed, because you hardly see any changes in how a person thinks and believes after 7. It was once believed that once you reach this age, how you're hardwired in personality, in behavior and response is pretty much who you're going to be, because you could pretty much follow that through life. But what we know now is that there's this thing called neuroplasticity, which on a bio-neural level means that I can entertain a new idea and create a new neural pathway in my mind that if I serve, engage, and nurture this new idea, it becomes a part of my new personality, my new persona, the way I view world. So I can literally change my personality. I can change whether I'm an introvert or extrovert. I can change whether I'm positive or negative. I can change all these things. Now, it's harder to do after 7 because this stuff has been hardwired, and I'm no longer consistently in a state of theta. So what happens? How do we hardwire ourselves? Well, number one is you can. One of the most powerful mechanisms I use is I use 2 primary mechanisms from the reprogramming the mind to be in a state of high performance, positivity, high energy, high frequency on a regular basis. And they're both focusing on trying to get to the subconscious mind without being filtered through the conscious mind. Okay, what happens is when you're speaking consciously and you're talking about your positive affirmations, your declarations, all this stuff, right? That's your conscious mind. You're consciously making an effort to do that. But how much of it is actually impacting the subconscious mind, which is what's going to be actually controlling your behavior, your thoughts, your beliefs, and so on and so on? Very little of it, because you're not in a state of theta. However, what you find is, here's the first little trick. 95, 96, 97, 98% of your day is being controlled by your subconscious. You are constantly in a subconscious state, even while you're doing something. Driving, vast majority of that is done in a subconscious state. That's how you can be somewhere, decide to go home, get home, and don't remember driving there because you didn't do it consciously. Your subconscious took over. After you do it so many times, it becomes a habitual behavior. The subconscious just does it. And you do so much of that throughout your day that you don't realize. You respond and react to certain stimuli totally based off of your subconscious. So what happens is I teach my clients, put up the affirmations on vision boards, put up the affirmations on the wall, on the mirror in the bathroom, places that you're going to pass by it and see it, and on the dashboard in the car, places that you're going to pass by it and see it. But more importantly, places that you're going to scan it all the time, whether you're actually looking at it or not. What your conscious mind misses when you're in an environment, because it's focused on one particular thing, it can only process 2,000 bits of information per second, whereas the subconscious can process 4 billion bits of information per second. Just because you didn't see it with your conscious mind does not mean that your subconscious missed it. It didn't. If you scan it, if you glance past it looking for something else, the subconscious caught it. If it's playing in the background, I can't tell you how powerful this is. If it's playing in the background, once you stop focusing on it, it's bypassing the conscious and going directly to the subconscious. It's literally creating a state of theta in the subconscious state. And that's how you're programming. That's how you're getting your subconscious to get into alignment with what your conscious mind is desiring. And so you have to have them aligned. You can have the conscious mind on 10, but if the subconscious mind is on 3, you're going to spend a lot of time in a low frequency, period. And you can't attract anything positive, create anything positive, anything in a low frequency. So the first way is just put things where you can subconsciously engage them, where sometimes you're not even aware that you're seeing it, but you're seeing it. That's how powerful the subconscious is. Okay, so that's one way. The other way is through auto-suggestion, auto-hypnosis, whatever you want to call it. And that is catching the mind when it's in a inherent state of theta. And that's when you're falling asleep. There is a roughly 30-minute window between the time you start to doze off and the time you actually go into a deep sleep, which is normally delta, where you're in a deep sleep, you're dreaming. Okay, but there's a 30-minute window where you're in theta, where you're not completely unconscious, but you're not functioning from the conscious. So you're in the subconscious state of theta. And you can have on headsets, I have clients that I literally make auto hypnosis recordings for. And you just put on a headset and you fall asleep with the headset on. And for the first 30 minutes, if at some point you're going to wake up, probably because the headset is uncomfortable, and you'll look over and glance and it's been past 30 minutes, take them off, throw them on the side of the bed or put them on the nightstand, whatever, and then just go on with your night. But that 30 minutes is where you're going to get the greatest gains, because it's just an open, I'm dozing off, I'm hearing it. And the less you hear it, the more powerful it is. Because if you're hearing it, you're still hearing it with your conscious. If you're listening to it and saying, okay, yeah, it's when you doze off and it's still playing, that nothing but the subconscious gets it. It's called auto hypnosis or auto suggestion, and it's powerful. You get it, they're doing it to you in commercials, whether you realize it or not. You're focused on this part of the commercial, but there's this thing being done over here, or there's this poster in the background, or whatever. You're focused on the primary thing, but focusing on the primary thing allows for your subconscious to pick up on what's in the background. It's a way of subtle suggestion and subtle programming. You have to program your subconscious mind in a manner in which it starts to align with the desires and the demands of the conscious mind, or you're going to constantly find yourself frustrated. So you got a lot of people out there who are just simply like saying, I'm doing it, and it's not working. It's because you haven't dealt with the subconscious. Your subconscious mind is almost infinitely more powerful than your conscious. That's why willpower only gets you so far, because willpower requires you to be focused on it, and you don't operate that way. You focus on things to make executive decisions. You focus on things to make determinations. Do I like it? Do I dislike it? All these different things. And once you put it in a category, it's turned over to the subconscious, and the subconscious say, well, if you don't like it, this is what we're going to do with it. If he does like it, this is what we're going to do with it. The subconscious, and it goes through this process that travels through this actual biological bundle of nerves known as the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is the filter. It determines what's important to you and what's not, because the conscious mind can only process 2,000 bits of information per second, while the subconscious can process 4 billion. Imagine trying to be able to maneuver through the 4 billion. So no, what happens is the reticular activating system says, this is important, so it prioritizes it, puts it up. So that's the reason why you can go out and buy a new car that you've really never noticed before. You saw it and you've lost your mind about it, you got to have it. And then you drive it off the lot, and every time you look up, you see it. Somebody's driving it. Well, it was always there. You just hadn't established it yet as something that was important to you. Now that you're paying so many dollars a month for it, or you don't pay so many dollars in cash for it, it's important to you. The brain registers that. So now you're seeing it everywhere. It's something that the neural system has determined to be of interest to you. And so you get it. And that's the same thing. You have to create that environment where the subconscious knows what the conscious desires and is in the right alignment with the conscious. You can't have a subconscious that's still programmed for negativity and try to live by the demands of a positive conscious. And so you can say all the affirmations you want, but if you don't find a way to program the subconscious to align with those affirmations and be on the same wavelength, you're going to have a lot of frustration. That's what I'm going to leave you with for that now. You've got the program. And I see Takia on here. I haven't forgot about you, sweetie. I'm going to get that out to you. Like I said, it's been crazy with some of the social issues that I've been having to deal with. But that is extremely important. What are you doing on the level of programming your subconscious? So on that note, I'm gonna get out of here. For those who want to, and you can get them, you don't have to get them through me. You can get these programs for anywhere from a couple of $100 down, that you can go and buy whatever you want to say. I even teach people how to do it, so that you don't have to keep paying for programs. You pay one time, learn how to do it, you create it. There's so many ways to do this, but you want to program your brain when it's most programmable, your subconscious brain when it's most programmable. And so you have to catch it in theta. And the easiest way is that first 30 minutes that you're going off to sleep. Set the tone and the control. It'll even have a positive impact on your dreams. It's amazing, but you have to be proactive in that. Again, if you haven't gotten Critical Mass, first book in a six book series, my 20th book overall, you want to get this. Critical Mass is quite the work, but I is going to focus on self-talk. That is so powerful. I've heard a couple of people say that your brain is the world's most powerful supercomputer, and your self-talk is the program that it will run. And so that book does that. If you get the book, you're gonna get it at a promotional price. Also, you're gonna get a free 30-minute session with yours truly. With that being said, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day. Live your life on full so that you die only. I'm out.